Welcome everybody to Higurashi Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi, which is quite the mouthful, but this is the latest release from Manga Gamer on Steam of the Higurashi series, and this was provided to me by them free of charge. So with that said, let's get right into it, shall we? Now, for those of you who don't know, on my Twitch channel, on occasion, I stream Higurashi. I'm not this far into the game. I'm on the 4th game, but that's okay. Atonement chapter. How is your reasoning towards the truth coming along? How next strategy is ready for you? Enjoy. This is a humorous story with a tragic struggle at the end. The difficulty is 0. Difficulty is always 0, because there's no gameplay here. You can just enjoy the clowns milling about. You know, they say that. These games usually like to scar you in some way, horrifically, psychologically. So I always wonder what the twist is going to be, right? Like, how am I going to, like, what's the big, like, thing going to be at the end? First time, I would try harder to avoid the inevitable tragedy. Second time, I would be disgusted with the inevitable tragedy. Third time, my disgust would turn into anguish. Seventh time, I'd be laughing by them. Frederica Burden-Castle. This is a work of fiction, by the way. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. There may be Hinamizawa somewhere in the world. The chorus of the Higurashi had replaced that of the cicadas. Their cries came from a distance, echoed loudly, and then faded away. They sounded so weak and fragile. Reina's voice was just like the cries of the Higurashi. She'd say something, but the words would quickly fade away. She sounded so fragile that it made me worry she might vanish into thin air along with her words. I'm not sure how much of this game I'm going to show, but I'll try to do a little bit of it. But nobody's pressuring her to continue. Mion dusted off the hood of an abandoned car and sat down on it, as if to show how relaxed she was. She actually did look very relaxed, as if she came here to enjoy the cool breeze of the evening or something. Satoko followed Mion's example and sat down as well. She didn't look nearly as relaxed, however. I thought about following suit, but it felt rude to look away from Reina, even for the short time it would take to look for a place to sit down, so I decided to remain standing. Rika-chan didn't sit down either. No one sat down. But she wasn't looking at Reina. Everybody else was looking at Reina, but she wasn't looking at Reina. But Rika was looking at the sky. Rika's expression was hard to describe. She looked pale and blank at the same time, as if all of her emotions were gone. Reina wore the same kind of expression. She kept trying to say something, but it seemed like the words were kind of stuck on her throat. She noticed Rika was looking at the sky, so she decided to look that way as well. Mion did the same. So did I. Satoko looked that way too. And with that, there was silence. It was like we were in a concert hall filled with the chorus of the Higurashi. A concert hall with the highest roof in the world. A refreshingly cool breeze tickled our sweaty bodies. I could almost make myself believe we came here to enjoy the breeze and the sunset. I could only wish that was what we came here for. Hey boy, I hope I don't spoil something for me. It's gonna suck. The shadows of the birds flying across the sky soured the feeling of our quiet concert. I know this all sounds really boring, but trust me, these games are slow burners. So you guys kinda gotta stick with it to the very end. Because they're worth it, trust me. They're like some of the twists and the way the story plays out in the games is really cool. They reminded us that time had not stopped. Nobody wanted to pressure Reina. We didn't want time to pressure her either. We wanted to keep the cool red sky as long as we could, so Reina could calm down and talk. Right then, I heard a sound, and it brought us all back to reality. The hood Mion was sitting on had made a noise when she moved to cross her legs. I don't know whether Mayon made the noise on purpose or not, but it reminded us that time had been passing by. The noise took our attention away from the sky and back to the ground. Such a tasteless noise seemed to have urged Reina to speak. Reina heaved a small sigh, nodded as if she understood something, and looked at us like she always did. There's one thing I wanted to say before anything else. Okay, just so you know, these games have patches you can download online for, because this game was kind of remade on the PS3, PlayStation 3, and it has full voice work and improved sprites and things like that. And it's pretty nice. I just started playing it with the fourth game I've been playing on Twitch, and boy, it's like a world of difference, right? Like there's no voice, like there's voices that the characters actually talk, but there's no voices. There's no voice work on the Steam releases. I'm not really sure why. Like I don't know why they I don't know why they just don't re-release PS3 versions on Steam, but you know, what do I know? She was probably saying it to everybody, but since I'm standing in the middle with her looking at me, I nodded to her to represent our agreement. I think I did the right thing. Her voice wasn't hoarse anymore. She sounded just like she always did. I wonder how much we're allowed to struggle in order to be happy. It sounded like a question, but nobody really answered. That's why I really like Mi-chan's club. The one rule is to do whatever it takes to win, right? I think that's wonderful. If we were the only ones allowed to do nice things, and if there was a limit to how much we could struggle, well, people who aren't happy wouldn't be able to seize happiness at all. Misfortunes are like a chain reaction, I think. Once they begin, they're very, very hard to escape. In order to escape the chain of misfortunes, you need more than just luck or even assistance. I think you need to struggle as hard as you possibly can. You need to do your best. That's how you seize true happiness. That's what I believe. Reina stopped talking, looked up, heaved a sigh, and opened her mouth again. But I'm not saying that I expect you to accept what I did. I know that was a very bad thing to do. Didn't you all look stunned a while ago? That tells me everything. I've never seen her smile so self-derisively like this. That smile looked unbelievably painful. I could really feel how huge the distance between us was. There's nothing physically there, but I felt as if she's talking to us through iron bars or a chain-link fence. That's how great the distance between us was. But it's okay. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just how things are in this world. If I were you, I'd probably look just as stunned, and I'd say something irresponsible and merciless. She probably said that to hit back at us. We're just putting on a mask of sympathy. Enjoying the spectacle of a clown on a stage. That's why she said that. She probably expected us to say something in return. But none of us knew what to say. Reina looked disappointed for a moment, then turned and clambered on top of an abandoned car. Then she spread her arms out and gave a little twirl, letting her skirt billow up before she grabbed both ends and gave us a graceful curtsy. Well then, are you ready for the story? This is the story of how Reina Ryugu did her best. There was no curtain or spotlight here. She was atop an abandoned car amidst the trash piles, stage specifically made for her. We tried not to miss a word of what she was about to say. We believed that was the least we could do to not hurt her feelings. Are you ready for a story? I know I am. I always like a good story. Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi. I don't know what that means, but sounds pretty good, right? These is part of the answer arcs of the series. Kind of like Yumineko, if you played those games. like the first 4 games are kind of a build up, and then like the last 4 games kind of answer questions that you had and kind of conclude the story in a way. Let's say it's a winter month like December right now. It's actually June, but let's just say it's December, all right? What would you do if all of a sudden you had a week of hot and humid days with crying cicadas? Or would you still wear your coat and scarf? Oh, absolutely not, right? I mean, I wouldn't. Even though it's still June. It's already summer to us since we've been having hot days for so long. Boy, aren't you kidding? We didn't get spring this year. So it's totally okay to be doing this kind of club activity in June. At my school, everybody usually does what they want in PE class, but today would be an exception. All my classmates were gathered in the schoolyard. Mion looked over everybody gathered there, then spoke up loudly. Hey everyone, you ready? Yeah! I'm not ready. They all raised the water guns in their hands. It's okay to use water guns in June because it's been so hot and humid. You don't use water guns in winter, that's just cruel. All my classmates were joining in, so it's going to be a big water gun battle. I'm so excited. So excited to do a club activity with everyone from class. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun to play outside with everybody together. Together. It's going to be fun for them, but we have to be serious because we can't lose. Well, yeah, for us club members, every game comes with a risk. Exactly. I look forward to the punishment our more careless members are going to suffer. Good luck, everyone. I'm so pumped. Everybody listen up. Did y'all check your guns? Are your tanks full? Well, alrighty, Mabera-san. That's us. That's where the protagonist, Mabera. Kichi Mabera. We're very good at gun battles. Tomita and his friends played with water guns a lot, so they might have an advantage. We're different men today. Tomita and Okamura smiled confidently, holding their guns in a practiced manner. Their skills must give them confidence. They even look different. As we all know, Mion's going to be a tough opponent, but I think Satoko and Rika could be too. What about you, Reina? You can move fast, but you could end up being their targets as well, so be careful. You've been losing a lot of games lately and taking most of the punishments. It's just that the recent games weren't my specialty. But Kichi-kun, I thought you've been losing a lot these days too, haven't you? You have no idea how miserable I was when I had to go home wearing a bra and my mom saw me in it right before I was about to take it off. Ah, boy, that was not fun explaining that. My last punishment was as terrible as yours. I'm ruined for marriage after having to do that. Well, I wonder what that punishment was. Satoko laughed at us loudly while we were shuddering at the memory of the cruel punishments we suffered in the past. Oh, you've been low on both luck and spirit. I know why you've been losing so frequently. That's because, you see, you're both losers. You know, that's not very nice. It's not nice to make fun of people. Words hurt. She's right. Once you get used to losing, you just can't stop. And after all those losses, your fighting spirit fades away. When you can't believe in yourself, well, nothing goes right, even if you're doing the same thing as everyone else. Haven't you realized that Reina and I took those punishments on purpose because we wanted to spare you that fate? You should be thanking us, not calling us losers. Well, boy, we're really twisting that scenario, right? Oh, is that so? I'm very sorry for not thanking you enough, then. Ugh. Satoko, you just added oil to the flames of my rage. I'll make you regret what you just said. That's the spirit, Kei-chan. You may know sometimes I use honorific, sometimes I don't. Depends on my mood. This old man hopes you can at least last long enough to serve as entertainment. Reina, you too. You'd be embarrassed if you were the first one to get shot, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I too think Reina's going down first. Prepare yourself for a bad time. No, me-chan, Satoko, you're so mean. Reina and Kichi go for it. Yay! I love Rika's adorable. I love Rika. She's my favorite character. Mion and Satoko laughed at us as loud as they could, then moved on to tease their next target. Left alone, all I could do was stomp on the floor in anger. Damn it! I'm gonna win. I can't let them laugh at me like that again. I agree. Feels bad to have them laugh at us like that. It's not only how it feels, it's also how they step on my pride. Damn it! Like me said, it might be true that you can't stop losing once you get used to it. That's why we have to win today, no matter what, so we can get even. Reina's eyes look different. They were closed. She usually has a funny, she's usually like a funny and weird person. Yeah, she's a weird person, alright. But I know she has the determination to do what she needs to. When Reina looks like this, she can be a tough opponent. Today I'll follow the first club rule. I'm gonna do everything I can to win. Oh, you sound determined. You sound cool, but also as if you've been going easy on them before. Reina smiled. Or maybe you could have called it a wicked grin. She was serious. She was serious about what she said. I could tell that from her expression alone. Among all the club members, Reina is easily the most sensible one. The rule of our club is that we can do anything in order to win, but she's really the only one who has any moral qualms in doing so. That's why we really have a hard time against her, except when she snaps. Boy, when she snaps, she snaps. It's rare to hear her say that she won't go easy. Damn it, when you grin like that, you leave me no choice. I have to be super serious about this too. I always have to fight with all I have in our club, but I believe there's a time when I have to get super serious about it. I think today's that time. Indeed, yes! We pounded our fists together. Usually when we really don't want to lose the game, one asks the other to work together. But Reina didn't ask this time, which meant that she was going to try to defeat everybody by herself. That includes me? No, not try. She was going to do it by herself. Reina looked really cool at that moment, but I wasn't really scared. If she was seriously going to do it, I'd have to be serious and do it too. My fighting spirit had been dented after many losses, but it had begun to burn hot once more. You look good too, Kichi. You're even scaring me a little. You look like you're going to defeat everybody all by yourself. I know that's what you're going to do too. That means we're going to fight against each other at the very end. We would if we defeated everybody else. I hope you'll be the last one I have to fight against. Yeah, me too. We pounded our fists together again. Does everyone remember the rules? You have to call it out when you get hit. Once you're hit, you can't shoot anyone. Even if you did, it wouldn't count. Mion, I'd like to confirm the definition of being hit one last time. When somebody shoots you with a water gun, you're hit. I'll break it down more for you, K-chan. You're only hit when it's water from a water gun. In other words, you're not hit when somebody splashes you with a bucket of water. Only direct shots from a water gun count? I'm sure you're not so scared of Satoko's trap attacks now, huh? I will still have many kinds of traps ready for you. Reina, you'll be my first target. I don't think so. You're not strong enough to take me down yet. What did you just say? Oh, I can't believe Reina gave Satoko tit for tat. This is gonna be fun. Don't you think so, K-chan? I don't think so. At least not for you, because all you'll be doing is choosing which of us is going to shoot you first. Kichi seems determined to win. Mion seemed to sense the fighting spirit in me and Reina. I could tell that she's as serious as we are, just from the way she looks. She's always serious in these, though. Takes no prisoners, that one. Alright, I like your spirit. Are you all ready to start? Everybody get to your positions. The ones you drew by lot earlier. Everybody had to draw a loss to pick a place to start the game from. I mean, it wouldn't be fun if everybody was close together at the beginning of the game, right? By the way, my starting position was behind the school building. When I drew the starting position, I thought about hiding until there were only a few people left, like I did in our last game of tag. But a defensive tactic like that wasn't really interesting to me anymore. I hadn't been this excited in a long time. My legs were shaking with the excitement. It was my first time experiencing that kind of feeling. I could hear Mion's countdown from some distance away. 3, 2, 1. She fired a real gun. I'm not really sure where she got it, but it's a toy pistol, so it's fine. With that sound, I was already running around the building. There had been some underclassmen nearby. I'd usually assumed that somebody else would take care of them, but this time was different. Whoa! They stood frozen in fear as I ran towards them, screaming at the top of my voice. It took a moment to quickly decide whether to fight or to run away, and in that moment, I shot one after another. Sorry, guys. You just got unlucky with where you were started. You know, it happens. I kind of felt bad for them because they lost the game so quickly, so I rubbed their heads to cheer them up, and I took the water guns. Yeah, see, that was the key factor in this game. I can hold 2 guns. You can't put very much water in a water gun. When 10 people around you in a gun battle, the water will be gone in a minute. I abandoned the gun I used to shoot them, held one of their guns in each hand, and scoped out the schoolyard. Just like I expected, there was an intense battle happening there. In the short time it took me to take care of the area behind the school building, it seemed like most of my classmates were already shot. I wasn't surprised, though. I kind of knew it happened. You need to have a high skill to fight in the open schoolyard. Especially when most of the club members were there. It must have been like a battle of elephants and ants. What is it that Mion is holding? Mion was holding a different water gun than the one she had when the game started. She was now holding one that looked like a huge machine gun. Its range capability, its pump action shooting, and the amount of water it can hold were way beyond comparison. I mean, there were no restrictions on what kind of water gun we could use today, so it's... Of course, she brings a freaking giant super soaker military grade gun. As long as it's water from a water gun, we were allowed to use any kind. Most of us had a normal pistol style water gun from a local toy store or something similar. I would have brought a bigger one like Mion's if they'd had one, but they weren't in stock, and I just have to order it in. In other words, Mion ordered hers a long time ago just for today. Of course she did. She's always well prepared when it comes to winning. She must have thought that we wouldn't allow her to use the big water gun if she showed it off before the game started, so she must have hidden it somewhere. It looks like most of her classmates were shot right after the game started. Only a few were still alive, trying to survive as long as they could by using the heavy construction equipment as a shield. Mion mercilessly shot at them from various angles to make them come out from behind the shield. Stop hiding, cowards! Tomita and Okamura were trying their best to resist her attack from behind their shield. It looked like they had no chance against her. But that actually wasn't true. After all, the 2 of them were only still alive because of all their experience in water gun battles. They survived the first few minutes of her assault, even though 99% of their classmates did not. And they were still surviving at that very moment. Mion, however, is also a battle-hardened soldier. She used the advantage of her big water tank and gradually but certainly drove them into a corner. It was only a matter of time until she broke them down. We're cornered. It's not fair that she has a machine gun. All we have to do is survive until her tank runs low. We don't stand a chance against her when she's shooting at us like this. They tried to hold out against her, but all they could do for now is to keep running behind cover as Mion strafed closer and closer to them. They wanted to use their 2 against 1 advantage, but it seemed like they wouldn't even get that chance. If they tried attacking recklessly, one of them might get shot, and then the other would have no chance of winning. So they grew more cautious, placing their bets on their final chance. But that caused their offense to wane. Of course, Mion saw through their plan. I wish they kind of used the updated sprite for that one. Because this has updated sprites. The original sprites are pretty ugly, I'll admit. I mean, they have a certain charm to them, but I don't know. She was purposely provoking them so that they'd lose their patience and start attacking her recklessly. Mion circled around the construction equipment, and now she was standing with her back towards me. If I went up against her machine gun fair and square, I wouldn't stand a chance. There's no way. So attacking from behind would be the only way for me to defeat her, even though she was in defenseless position. There was some distance between us. I was still too far away, but it would still be better to attack her now than take her head on. But don't hesitate, Kichi. You won't have this chance again. I stepped out from my hiding place and ran as fast as I could towards her. With two water guns in my hands. It's really late at night. Instead of approaching slowly and silently, I screamed at the top of my lungs. I'm not going to scream at the top of my lungs, by the way. Rah! Mion! What? Oh, there you are, Kei-chan. Mion seemed a little shocked by my surprise attack, but she immediately pulled herself together. She knew the advantage of her weapon, but she didn't shoot me just yet. She held back, luring me closer. Mion was well aware of how much water she had left. If she had the same kind of water gun as me, we would have had the same range capability. So it would have been down to our technique to decide the winner. If she was fighting against one of her underclassmen, she could have defeated them easily. Mion immediately calculated her chance of winning against me and figured out that her only chance was to use the advantage of her water gun. She saw the eye of the tiger in me and recalculated her chances of winning in a split second. Really, I can admire how fast she does those things. I ran at top speed to shorten the distance between us. Our strength should have been equal. I had two water guns with full tanks, and she had a machine gun with a half-empty tank. We both waited for the perfect moment. Oh, there we go. That's the sprite I was looking for. Your fighting spirit deserves my respect, Kei-chan. I'm not sure if I would have been a match for you today if I didn't have this gun. I'm disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations are off today. Did you say you thought you could beat me? Because you don't stand a chance. The moment we stepped within range, Mion and I pulled our triggers at the same time. Mion set her sights squarely on me while I was trying to shoot and run at the same time. Her shot would obviously be more accurate than mine. My shot of water flew towards nowhere. Mion didn't even need to duck. But Mion's shot made a beautiful arc straight towards my chest. I could see the line of water coming straight at me, but I was too unstable to dodge. Mion had no doubt that she got me. You need more than spirit to defeat me. I knew you'd be the first to go down. I'm still disappointed in you, Mion. Your calculations are really off today. Bullshit. Okay, calm down. It's just a game. You can't dodge that shot. It'll go straight through you and you'll regret the moment you chose to come at me screaming rather than creeping up from behind. You're really disappointing me today, Mion. You could have figured it out if you spent just one more second to think. Could have figured out the reason why I didn't creep up on you but screamed as loud as I could instead. Mion noticed my surprise attack and turned to face me. In other words, she turned her back on the opponent she was fighting earlier. Those opponents heard my scream and saw that she had turned her back on them. What's this? Mion had noticed her back was wet and cold. She finally understood that the underclassmen she was attacking just earlier had shown their fangs and attacked her from behind. I blocked her water shot with my arm right before it hit my chest. The line of water was broken into droplets and splattered away. Damn it! I got hit first, so my shot didn't count. You took too long to figure it out. Now get down, Mion. Mion squatted down and covered her head. Now it was me versus Tomita and Okamura. Friends they may be, but enemies they are now. Their reflexes weren't so bad. They knew well that I'd be their next target after Mion was gone. They didn't feel sorry at all for attacking me right after I just saved them from their predicament. I can respect their cruelty and how quickly they shifted gears. They may one day be able to join our club if they keep refining their sense and skill. One day. Our next target is my bear. Let's get him. It's 1 against 2. We could take him. They were, however, one step behind me. It was already too late. For them, Mion was their first target and I was next. But I was different. My first target was them from the start. I didn't even see Mion as my target to begin with because I knew they'd take care of her. I was pointing my guns at them long before they moved their sights from Mion to me. It seemed like they noticed at the last moment that both of my guns had been pointing at them from the beginning. Which meant it was already too late for them. I jumped over Mion, rolled on the ground, and landed on my feet. I looked as elegant as an athlete who had just finished a perfect performance. It's quite beautiful, really. I had a gun in each of my hands, and with those guns I shot them at each other in the middle of their chests. So fast. How could the two of us lose against one? Tomita and Okamura fell to their knees in disappointment. I can't believe you did all this, Kei-chan. I guess I'm off today, like you said. Mion wiped the dirt off her knees, looking frustrated. Oh, don't worry. It wasn't you. Then why did I lose? Oh, that's simple. I twirled my guns on the tips of my fingers all badass-like. I have to win sometimes in order to keep looking so cool. There were only a few people left alive. Reina, Satoko, and myself. Reina and Satoko were fighting fiercely. Were they evenly matched? No. Satoko was pushing her hard, moving fast. She was driving Reina into a corner. Reina was usually gentle and slow, but today she was different. She was very serious today, and yet Satoko was still overwhelming her. She's a tough customer, even without her tricky traps. Oh, do you remember threatening me earlier? I suppose you were just bluffing. You move well, but I'm still going to win. Satoko kept moving around, piling on pressure in order to pin Reina down. She kept shooting, and so her tank must have been almost empty, but her shots were still sharp and fast. I noticed a bucket near her feet, which was full of many water guns. I understood seeing that. She'd been taking guns from others who were already out of the game. In this battle, reloading bullets, water, was more crucial than the actual shooting. The hole that you put water into in these guns is rather small. To put water through from a faucet takes time and requires a certain amount of skill. In a battle like this, it would be almost suicidal. I understand that well, so I've been taking guns from the people I defeated, but I could only hold one in each hand. Satoko used a bucket to overcome the limit. Very smart. Reina looked like she had only one water gun. I had assumed she had two earlier, but she must have used a lot of water during her long battle with Satoko. It looked like she was trying to save her water for the right moment, but with Satoko's fierce attacks, it was obvious that it was only a matter of time before Reina was driven into a corner. However, Reina was quite skilled. She only pretended to be driven into a corner, but she was actually luring Satoko to a place where she'd have the advantage. There was a narrow, twisting path near the gymnasium warehouse behind the school building. With Reina's water levels running low, she'd want to turn things around with a single, close-range shot. That narrow path was the perfect place for her to do that. What's wrong? You're slowing down a little. Getting tired. Oh, I appreciate your concern, but I'm not tired at all. I think you should worry more about your remaining water. You haven't shot back at me for a while. Your tank is empty, I suppose. If you think so, why don't you stop hiding and show your face? I'll pass. I'm aware you've been holding on to your last shot. One shot's all I need. I'll be nice and shoot you in the forehead. I don't want you to get your clothes wet after all. Ho! I never imagined I could have such a thrilling battle with you, Reina. However, with the amount of water you have remaining, I doubt you have enough pressure to make that last shot go far. Satoko was right about that. Reina had just enough water to make one last shot. As the amount of water left in the tank dwindles, the range of shots you can make shortens. That makes the last shot the shortest and the weakest of them all. Regardless of her absolutely disadvantageous situation, Reina didn't look frustrated. I could tell she had no intention to lose. It was almost like she didn't even see Satoko as a threat. You picked a perfect location for yourself, did you not? I have to tread cautiously. Satoko seemed to understand how dangerous Reina's last shot was going to be better than I did, since she was the one actually fighting against her. I don't play chess very often, but I believe this kind of situation is called a stalemate, is it not? Satoko took out another gun with a full tank and shortened the distance between them slowly and carefully. A gun with a full tank doesn't only have long range, it also has enough power to make shots more accurate. If they shot each other in frontal attack, Satoko would have a 99% chance to win. Even so, Satoko was still afraid of Reina's last shot. Satoko shortened the distance even further, smiling as if unafraid, but I could tell she was actually full of fear. Satoko compared the situation to chess earlier, but it wasn't exactly the same. In chess, you can use some pieces to drive the opponent's king into a corner, but in this case there was only Reina and Satoko. You can lose some of your pieces in order to achieve a win, but Satoko doesn't have any pieces other than herself. A king can't drive another other king into a corner alone. That's called a stalemate. That's why at first glance it looked like Satoko had the absolute advantage. They're actually on equal footing. Let us finish this. It's not like us to wait for the bell to bring an end to this battle. You're right. Let's do this. That's strange. I thought Reina wouldn't have to move on just on a dare from Satoko. What kind of plan did she actually have? Reina had been hiding behind cover for a while, but she came out without hesitation. I noticed something right away. Reina had a different gun. Satoko seemed to notice it as well. I had a plan to hide here when my water ran low. I had hit a gun in advance. Damn, she's good. And using the trap at the last moment for a come-from-behind victory, it was as though she was taking Satoko's best skill from her and firing it right back. Satoko no longer had any advantages now that both of them were pointing their guns at each other with full tanks. But she still looked confident. What was going on? Did she have some kind of plan too? That gun you're holding right now is very important to me. What do you mean? You would have kept waiting for your perfect shot and wouldn't have come out of hiding if you didn't have that gun. At that moment, lightning ran through my brain. I instantly understood the situation. Of course! Reina was in a disadvantageous situation earlier, but it was actually the same for Satoko, since she didn't have a chance to make her shot while Reina was in hiding. Reina had remained cautious in order to hit her with the last shot, and that made it difficult for Satoko to attack her. However, what if Reina didn't need to take the last shot for a come-from-behind victory? No, I said it wrong. What if Reina got a new gun with a full tank? She'd stop hiding and come out to fight against Satoko. You see, I knew from the beginning that you'd run over here in order to obtain that gun. Let Satoko talk crap, Reina. You don't have to listen to her, just shoot her right now. Reina thought the same thing. She shot at Satoko without any hesitation. But she frowned in confusion a moment after. What was going on? She couldn't shoot? Was her water gun broken? Or did somebody break it? Didn't you know that you can easily break a water gun by putting a little bit of sand in an empty tank and pulling the trigger several times? You knew I was hiding my trump card here and pulled a cheap trick like that, huh? I told you. You only set one small trap at the last moment. That is the beauty of traps. When it comes to traps, Satoko remained a notch above Reina after all. I couldn't believe Satoko figured out Reina's plan in advance and set a trap to counter it. Reina, you made a big mistake. You should have kept the old gun with you. You could have at least made that last shot. But it's too late now for you to pick it up again. Reina was in a worse situation than she was before. She couldn't even take another shot. Be prepared. You told me earlier that you'd shoot me in the forehead, did you not? Well, I will be at least kind enough to do the same favor. Satoko slowly narrowed her distance again and pointed the muzzle at Reina's forehead. Reina still didn't look like she'd given up. She still thought the game was undecided. Satoko, you're not as good as you think you are. What did you say? If you got me with your trap, it'd be you're right as the winner to allow yourself the room to breathe and smile like you're doing right now. But all you've done is drive me into a tough spot. You haven't killed me yet. Don't you think it's a little too early for you to act like you've already got me? Oh, I thought you were going to say something much scarier than that. Makes no difference because I'm going to get you right now. If I were you, I'd just shoot rather than keep talking. You know why? Because if I didn't, I'd lose. Lose? Are you talking about me? I highly doubt you can fight with a jammed water gun. Do you remember the rule? You're hit when it's water from a water gun. Huh? So what are you saying? When I heard her saying that, I started running. My target was Reina. Satoko was already dead to me. Why? Well, she was going to be shot by Reina within the second. I have absolutely no idea what you're referring to, Reina. What do you think you can do with a jammed water gun? As long as I have water in my gun, I can still fight. Don't you get it yet? You don't need to shoot the water from the water gun. Reina raised her broken water gun up high and smashed its handle on the wall of the school building as hard as she could. The plastic broke easily and water flowed out of it. As long as the water from the gun hits you, you're dead. It doesn't matter where the water comes out. Reina was right. She just saved herself by thinking it through. If she was using a real gun, bullets would only come out from the one end of the gun. But this was a water gun, so rules don't apply. She can make it come out of any place, not just the barrel. What? Satoko finally realized that she was standing defensively in front of Reina. Satoko's trap was successful, but she overestimated its effect. She should have just shot Reina without hesitation before Reina noticed her new water gun was jammed. She was going to fail because she'd grown overconfident of her victory. A second before Satoko pulled the trigger, Reina swung her water gun as if slashing Satoko with the sword. Satoko fired her bullets, but it was too late. A second before Reina would be shot down, a blade of water hit Satoko in the face. No, not hit. It cut her face open. Your endgame wasn't good enough. I can't believe it. I lost. Reina ran towards Satoko, who was standing still in shock, and took her water gun. Reina knew I was her last target and that I was running towards her. Reina! Reina, using her superior mobility, began to duck and weave. We were evenly matched. Neither of us neglected to make any effort possible to take advantage of the situation. I knew it'd end up being a one-on-one battle with you. I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. I'm seeing you in a new light today. I didn't know you had the guts. Rather than a new light, I'd like you to see me in a romantic way. Well, I could try if you let me win. No thanks. We circled around the construction equipment, trying to take shots at each other. We were both sweating like crazy, but I didn't feel tired. Big drops of sweat tickled as they ran down my body. Rapid bursts of water flew across both our paths. Neither of us had the advantage or disadvantage. I didn't feel elated that I might win or frustrated that I might lose. I was just enjoying the battle with Reina. It was like a dance, almost. A dance that I couldn't dance alone. A dance that I could only dance with an opponent. Reina sure is sharp when she gets serious. It's giving me chills. Kichi's good too. He evenly matched with her. I can't tell who's going to win. In fact, none of the observers could tell who was going to win. And you know what? Not even I can tell who's going to win. You want to know who's going to win? Well, you're going to have to play the game and find out, because that'll be the end of today's quick look of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 6, Tsumihoroboshi. Hope you all enjoy. It's 10% off currently on Steam. You can get it on mangagamer.com also. It's really cheap. It's like $8. I mean, it's not a super expensive game or anything like that. It's pretty cheap. You know, it's pocket money, really, in terms of game prices nowadays. So, yeah, pick it up, guys, if you like it. You know, if you're ready for the next chapter of Higurashi, well, here it is. Yeah, and that's it. And that's for the quick look today. Hope you all have a good weekend.